So this weekend, I ended up playing my favorite deck at locals, both on Saturday and Sunday, and that would be Code Talkers. Now, on Saturday, I got first place, and on Sunday, I got second. This list is very similar to my previous list on the deck, however, it is extremely optimized, so I figured I'd go ahead and give you guys a list either way. So to start things off, we are going to be playing triple Nightmare Corruptor Ibley, best card in the deck, triple Lady Debug, one 4-Mud Skipper, and one Cyber's Gadget. These are your normal summons. These are the cards that you want to be normal summoning. This deck has a lot of different normal summons that you can use, but these are the most optimal ones. Additionally, you have different ways to get these out of your hand. So if you draw, say, like a Nightmare Corruptor Ibley and a Lady Debug, that's not bad. You have a way to get the Lady Debug out of hand anyway. So, yeah, those are your normal summons. Next up, we have your coder package. You have microcoder and code generator, as well as one dotscaper. These two right here can be used from hand for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, and then they get a effect depending on which one you're using. This one searches a Cyber Spell or Trap, and this one Foolish Burial is a card, which is why I'm showing dotscaper right here. Usually you're going to be sending dotscaper just to bring it back in order for to get a free +1. After that, we are playing double Parallelices. This card is essentially just a free +1. You're playing 4 different link ones in the deck, so you always have a way to get this out of hand. You don't necessarily need to see it in hand, though, because it is searchable, so you don't play 3. You're going to be able to use it in the combo, even if you don't see it in hand. And if you do see it in hand, it's just a free +1. Card's crazy. After that, we are playing one Gachiri at Ignister, one Link Infraflyer, and one Sea Archiver. These are your other necessary search targets for your Cynet codec. These are mandatory in my opinion. Pretty much the entire deck up until this point is mandatory. The only card that can really be cut, in my opinion, is one Nightmare Corruptor Ibley. I think playing less than 2 is just not correct. But you could get away with playing 2 if you think it's a little bit too clunky. But it is the best normal summon in the deck. You usually just need an extender to go along with it. After that, I am playing, for more techie stuff, I'm playing one Gazelle and one Spinny. I feel like I need to justify this. Spinny is essentially just a free extender, and Gazelle is the same way. But if you draw Gazelle, it's functionally another copy of Parallelices. It's just a free +1. Additionally, this makes it to where Lady Debug is a 1-card OTK, since you can use this engine in order to just go ahead and go into Update Jammer. You can do the same thing with 4-Mud Skipper, but instead of using Gazelle, you use Parallelices. So this is just another Parallelices functionally. After that, we are playing a 3-card Math Mech package. We're playing Subtraction, Addition, and Sigma. In my opinion, these are the best non-required Cyber's extenders. So I'm playing them as the best extenders that I can play. And the things that's really nice about these, I used to be playing like one of I'd switch between these. I ended up playing just all 3 of them because I wanted additional extenders and I wanted to be sure I had one of these in hand in case my field gets wiped and I'm going second. If my field gets wiped and I don't have one of these, I might end up being forced to stop playing, but with these, I'm just going to continue playing either way. Out of these, the best one is Sigma, though, because you just summon it out if your field gets wiped, going first or second. Card's really good. It also combos with Cynet Mining. For our spells and traps, we're playing triple Cynet Codec, triple Cynet Mining, 1 Optimization, and 1 Conflict. I show all of these together because these are all searchable with your microcoder. This is one of the best searchers in the game. You can search 5 times a turn. Nuts card. I think everyone knows what Cynet Mining does. Discard, search a Cybers. Really good. This is double summon and also turns all of your Code Talkers into Armades. That comes up so much. I cannot believe how often it comes up that your opponent cannot use card effects during the battle phase when you're battling with a Code Talker monster. That comes up all the time. It's absolutely crazy. And this is just a busted counter trap. Not a lot of explanation needed there. Then we are playing one Salamangreat Sanctuary. This card is just really good. You can search it off of your Phalanx, but this is functionally just a Code Talker card because you use it with Ibley in order to ensure that your opponent cannot just attack over the Ibli. You change one of your monster's attacks to 0 during the battle phase. 0 attacking monster attacking a 0 attacking monster. Nothing happens. Neither card's destroyed. Just really good. This also, hilariously, this card is a way to play around Droll. You just normal summon the Ibli, go into your Bay Links, search this. If they Droll you there, you can still usually make a Firewall Dragon. And Ibli, Sanctuary, Firewall Dragon is a lot for any deck to deal with. This card's pretty much a Code Talker card. Then you just had like your good 1-of spells. You have Called by the Grave, 1-for-1, and Monster Reborn. These are all pretty self-explanatory. Not a whole lot to say there. And then for your hand trappy cards, we're running triple Forbidden Droplet and triple Impermanence. I am playing these because I think these are the best cards against both the most variety of decks and the best like 1-for-1 trades. I think these are the best cards that you can run against anything that also do well against Drytron. This deck kind of has a weird Drytron matchup in that if you go first, you're almost always winning. If you go second, you need to see one of these, and then you have a good chance of winning. You don't want to drown your deck out with a bunch of like cards like Droll. I've been doing a lot of testing, and Droll is obviously really good against that matchup, but against a lot of other matchups, it's not super great. So I like these a lot. They're both really good against like a wide variety of decks, and like they're just really optimal. For our extra deck, nothing has changed here. I don't think I've changed anything about the extra deck since like I first topped with it. You have your 4 Link 1s, you have Talkback Lancer, Lingaribo, and Double Bay Links. Your 4 Link 2s, you have Talkback Lancer, or you have Code Talker, Inverted, Splash Mage, and Update Jammer. And then you have your 4 Link 3s, you have Transcode Talker, Shooting Code Talker, Xcode Talker, and then your 3 Link 4s, you have Avermax, Firewall Dragon, Access Code. I don't see myself changing anything about this lineup anytime soon. This works great. The only thing that I will be changing is when Decode Talker Heat Soul comes out, I will be taking out Shooting Code Talker for Heat Soul. Until that point, I don't see anything changing here. And actually, like Shooting Code Talker overperformed this weekend. I made it all the time. My opponent would solemn like the summon of Access Code Talker so I couldn't OTK them. And then I would just make a Shooting Code Talker, end up attacking their whole board, drawing like 3 cards. It came up a lot more than in a lot of other tournaments, but like, card's pretty good for just drawing cards. And then for our side deck, I feel like I've got this very optimized as well. We are playing triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Evenly Matched, 1 Red Reboot, and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. These are your side-ins to deal with back row decks. This sides out pretty well too, because you just side out like triple Infinite Impermanence for triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Forbidden Droplets for triple Evenly Matched, and then you'll normally side out like 2 Ibli, and if you need to, you can side out Called by the Grave for another card. One of the big things that I like to side out for is Mind Control. This card is so good in this deck. If you were going second, I would almost always put this in. You just take a monster, you can link off the monster for Code Talker or Transcode Talker. And specifically against Tri-Brigade, you can take their Apollosa. And if you take their Apollosa, you can't negate the monster they summon off of their trap card because they can chain block its effect. But you do minus them, and then they're going to be tempted to banish their own Apollosa because you can use the Apollosa to negate their hand traps. If they banish one of your monsters, you can just sit pretty using their Apollosa, knowing that like they're not going to hand trap you. And then when the time comes, you just link off their Apollosa. So, really good. Finally, the best card in the side deck is Triple Rivalry. This card is so good in this deck. This card's crazy. This card doesn't affect you at all. It affects your opponent so much. And on top of that, like I'll side this in sometimes against decks that like in theory this would do nothing against, just to limit what they'd summon from the extra deck. And on top of that, if you give your opponent an Ibli, if you're not playing against a Cybers deck, like it's practically Zombie World Rivalry. It's absolutely crazy. Like there's not a lot of decks that can really deal with that. I actually flipped this over after giving an opponent an Ibli this weekend, and like it was just game. There's absolutely nothing they can do. And on top of that, or like the last 3 cards we're playing are Triple Dark Ruler No More. This is primarily for the Drytron matchup. However, you could also go ahead and play Droll. Functionally, they do the same thing. I just chose to play this because it has the best... it does the most against the most amount of decks, which is kind of like the point of what I was going with this. But I might go ahead and take this out for Droll, just because Droll does do a little bit better against the Drytron matchup as a whole, because then you don't have to deal with the double Herald of the Orange Light. You can play through that, but like, why play through that when you don't have to? Yeah, so that was my updated Code Talker list. I think I've got it pretty optimized. I don't know anything that I would really change at this point. But like, this deck's so good. Like, I can't wait for Heat Soul. Heat Soul is going to be crazy.